What is happening in the crypto space can only be described as momentous, as it is one of the most awaited events probably in the history of crypto. You know what I'm talking about, even if I do not tell it right away. And that just proves how big of a thing this is. Whether or not you invest in Ethereum, the merge that is set to happen in the network is a huge game changer that will hopefully open doors to countless opportunities within and without the network's ecosystem. We've talked about the merge in almost every video that we have published recently, and yet it is not enough to actually grasp the wide range of possibilities that may arise from the transition of Ethereum. It is imperative to not just look at this in a single standpoint, that is, the current manifestations and impacts of the merge. It is also important to look at it with the consideration of the future. And so, if you haven't asked yourself yet, I will. What would owning one Ethereum mean in a few years' time? This is Diversified Streams, your go-to YouTube channel for all things crypto. If you haven't subscribed yet, click the subscribe button so you don't miss out on the latest news and tips related to crypto, and make sure to keep your notifications on so you'll be updated with our latest videos. We post frequently so you wouldn't want to miss it. In today's video, we will be talking about the value of Ethereum, not in today's time, but in the year 2030. Everyone is hyping up the merge, and we are all for it. But I am sure there's a lot of you who are just as curious as we are in terms of the value of one Ethereum in 8 years' time. Some of you might be current investors, while some are probably thinking of doing it. So it would be meaningful to dedicate a video of Ethereum that is in the perspective of the future. Tommy Worldpower, an Ethereum investor and the founder of Energi, had some interesting insights regarding the value that one Ethereum would take in the year 2030. Tommy was already looking into a handful of projects during the establishment of the crypto industry, and he even got to buy Ethereum at the time when it was valued at $1. Since then, he was able to witness its value increase from $100 to $1,000. And he's bullish enough on the prospect that he believes it will not be impossible for one Ethereum to be priced at $100,000. In 10 years' time, we might be looking at the second best asset in the whole market getting valued at $100,000 for each Ethereum. The name of the game is holding, as Tommy had said in his interview, and if you are an investor who is here to stay, and your holding game is just as strong as the other investors who have witnessed these types of assets' major upgrades, you are definitely in for a treat, and that is seeing Ethereum getting valued at an overwhelming price. It is important that you invest in assets and coins that set themselves apart despite the tough competition for buyers. Assets like Ethereum and Bitcoin are among the best in terms of making themselves stand out. And you should definitely be looking into investing your money into either of the two if you really want to experience the best things in the market. The technology poured into the network, the developers working behind it, all factors should be accounted for, and standards must be met. Perhaps the biggest concern of people about Ethereum is the governance. And because there are people who want to introduce new things to the network and say, implement a new system of governing over the network's matters, there is what seems to be some type of friction that is happening. But even though this is something that some leaders would want to see in the network, it is easier said than done. Ethereum has been going for some time, and its history is not something that can be easily distorted to give way for a system of governance to be implemented. It could trigger a few other investors, and they are usually a bit hostile when it comes to these discussions. But aside from that, Ethereum is basically a green flag of all sorts when it comes to current and future possibilities. In the macro scale of it all, Tommy advises the people to be extra careful, something that we have been constantly reminding you as well. The whole market is overvalued at the moment, and while it is not impossible for everything to scale higher, the current stats of the crypto space exhibits an overvaluation of the assets. It will never hurt your pockets to put up an extra level of awareness on the market. And also, always have some other avenues that can earn you some cash. With the pandemic and the inflation that we are all seeing unfold at the moment, the prices are skyrocketing ridiculously, and it is much better to have some sidelines that generate cash while waiting for the excitement to become a little less intense. This is not to say that crypto is becoming a weak industry, because any other industry has its downsides. The future is still bright for crypto, and it is well on its way to becoming the future of currency. What do you think of Tommy Worldpower's sentiments so far? Do you think that he's being way too positive with Ethereum? Or are his assumptions just right considering the hype that surrounds Ethereum today and the weeks to come? Let us know your thoughts by writing them in the comments down below. Also, while you're at it, spare us a few seconds of your time and give this video a like, while also subscribing to our channel. We put so much effort into giving you the best content there is today, and we would love to know if you appreciate what we do. When asked about where the assumption of Ethereum being valued at 100k by 2030 is coming from, Tommy proudly revealed that he has a team working behind him, analyzing the growth of the asset and also building on the skills necessary to predict outcomes out of certain events such as the merge. Historic data is the main character that these people use to assess the next possibilities, such as the values of the assets. And this is something that people can see and look back to once we actually realize this prediction. People will be looking back into how these predictions were just guesses, but ones which are dependent on data and careful growth assessments. Also, this is something that we generally see in the market each year. The value doubles, although not really in a stable manner, and it comes in waves. There are obviously some drops and declines, but once it hits a certain value, it just seems to only go higher than what was previously the highest. Is Ethereum that big of a thing, despite the plethora of other big names that are starting to take hold in the whole space? Tommy believes so, yes. This is not the first time that people doubted what Ethereum can offer, as it has already happened in 2018 when a relative competitor of Ethereum called EOS was still dubbed as the Ethereum killer because of its capacity to process 100,000 transactions in just a second. People were siding with EOS that time, and it was something everyone thought was a landslide win for the so-called Ethereum killer. But look who is doing well now, and Ethereum is definitely keeping up with the trend so much better than its previous competitor is. The EVM compatibility that Ethereum has is the one thing any rival would like to improve and invest on if they really wish to be at par with the network's performance, because developers, thousands of them, are on Ethereum. And even if they do not work directly for the asset, the tools and projects they create are all done within its ecosystem, and that's something worth noting. And there you have it, guys. The price prediction for Ethereum come year 2030, and why experts like Tommy Worldpower think that 100 grand value for one ETH in 2030 is not hard to come by. If you have any thoughts worth sharing, please do share them with us in the comments down below. We love to communicate with you. Also, do not forget to give us a like and subscribe, and keep your notifications open so you'll be updated whenever we post content related to crypto. This has been Diversified Streams. Thank you for tuning in, and see you in our next video.